Hi again then guys, and welcome to yet another video, as is becoming a trend of course over the past few days, a very popular one. I know a lot of you guys love to hear this breaking news kind of stuff. Now with this video it's a little bit different because this is not something that you should necessarily get excited for this particular coming update, as we are with of course Tokyo, the Ferrari F50, the McLaren P1 GTR, etc, etc. This one is not necessarily coming soon, but it is, or at least appears to be, coming to Gran Turismo at some point. So of course, don't expect to see this one like this month or something like that, but we can hope to see it at some point eventually. Now the car would appear to be, at least to some degree, in the same vein as the Vision GT program. The design of this car was actually overseen apparently by Kaz himself, as well as of course the actual designers of the car, and it's an Indian hypercar. Now production is due, or they hope at least, to be in 2021, and this is an electric car. Nearly 1,000 horsepower, single direct drive gear. Not a huge amount else is known as far as I'm aware. I would assume all-wheel drive perhaps, maybe like the Rimac. Personally, I still prefer the Rimac visually, but I would certainly be behind a car like this based on how good it could potentially be. Plus, it's very cool that India could be represented. And one of the most interesting things to me about this car potentially coming to Gran Turismo is that although it's not strictly speaking a Vision GT car, it made me realise that we actually haven't had a new Vision GT in quite some time. Now, I know a lot of you guys don't really care about that. I know a ton of people actually do not like the Vision GT cars. Personally, I don't understand that. I love them. But some people don't. I tend to like the more crazy ones, the more creative ones like the Chaparral, Tomahawk, those type of thing. But a lot of them are used more so for marketing. This car, though, if it were added under that kind of banner, would be a little bit different. Because just like the Fittipaldi, it has more of a real-world supercar or hypercar implication. Now the car in question is called the Vajrayani Shul, and Shul is apparently an Indian word for a man with a trident, which is inspired by Lord Shiva. And I think, again, it's a cool idea behind the car. It's cool in terms of like the Pagani or Koenigsegg kind of way, where it's not just a supercar for the sake of it, it does have some thought put behind it, which sounds like an obvious thing to say, but we can probably all think of a couple of supercars which feel more built by committee rather than one man's idea, whereas this one certainly does not seem to be the case. It's more like a Horatio Pagani or a Christian von Koenigsegg kind of situation. Now whether or not the car will be produced is another thing entirely. They certainly seem to be well on the way to getting it there, and many of you guys have probably seen it before because it was shown at Goodwood. So this video in particular is more so for those who weren't aware of the car already. Maybe you are interested, like myself and many others, in the Vision GT program, and you just weren't aware of this car. Maybe you didn't attend Goodwood, maybe you didn't see it, because Goodwood is such a huge event that I plan to go to myself next year, hopefully, that there are so many cars there, some tucked away in little corners, cars that you've never seen before, cars that are released at Goodwood to the public for the first time, that you can easily miss a ton of stuff even if you are there, let alone if you're not. So to me this is just a very cool wrinkle in the game. I think it's cool that Kaz himself was involved in the oversight of the design. You can clearly see some hints of other car. The window line for me is very LaFerrari-esque, a little bit of McLaren P1 in there perhaps as well, but more so the LaFerrari for me. A little bit of Rimac with the headlights, I would say perhaps a hint of Tesla as well, which is certainly appropriate given the powertrain. So I think it looks to be a very cool hypercar if it does get produced. How quick will it be? Hard to say. With 1,000 horsepower, direct drive, probably rather quick, especially if again the Rimac is anything to go by. So overall, just an interesting new development. Will it come anytime soon? Don't hold your breath for that, but it is at least planned to be included, and the car wears the Gran Turismo logo very proudly on the back. So if you're unfamiliar with the brand, they are on Instagram. They have less than 10,000 followers, so give them some support. They've got some great shots of the car, so yeah, go over and check that out. You can read the stuff from them, and that's it for this installment. So as always, thanks for watching.